Now, India has planned for reaching its renewable energy goals in a very, very planned manner. Starting with the setting up of an ambitious generation capacity addition target of 175 gigawatt by the year 2022, coupled with the development of requisite transmission system, as well as the obligation on the part of obligated entities to purchase the renewable power, can in a way summarize the planning which India has done in regard to reaching the renewable energy targets. So, as part of India's intended nationally determined contributions, India has committed to achieve non-fossil fuel-based capacity of the order of 40% by the year 2030. And if we look at the capacity addition which has happened during the past few years, now we are at about 75 gigawatt of renewable capacity, and which is a pretty good achievement. And in the years to come, maybe we do not reach 175 gigawatt by 2022, but by and large, sometime around there, we will be there to achieve that 175 gigawatt. Now, as of now, the latest figures show that in the capacity terms, the renewable energy constitutes almost about 21 to 22% of the capacity. But in generation terms, it is contributing only about 9% of the renewable generation. Now, as this renewable energy generation level or penetration increases, the challenges in regard to the integration of renewables to the grid become more paramount, and they need to be addressed more meticulously and in a more planned manner. That is what is the second point I can make in regard to this. Now, the 175 gigawatt target at the national level has been disaggregated by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy into the state level targets, and all the states are working in regard to achieving that capacity additions. The renewable purchase obligations have been specified by the various state electricity regulatory commissions, and also as a guideline by the Ministry of Power at the national level. The Ministry of Power RPO targets or trajectory are uniform guidelines for all the states, but the state electricity regulatory commissions have from time to time been giving the annual RPO targets depending on the level which is best suited to the state conditions. So this puts onus onto the obligated entities to do the RPO compliance so that the renewable energy the uptake of renewable energy goes up to the extent it could be. In regard to the transmission planning, CA carries out the transmission planning, perspective transmission planning, and they do all these studies for a 5-year time frame. And the latest study done by them as part of National Electricity Plan has taken into account the renewable capacity which is likely to be there on ground or targeted to be there in the year 2022. So 175 gigawatt of renewable capacity. With that in mind, CA has looked at the transmission planning, has carried out the transmission studies, and they have done the transmission planning accordingly. In addition, specifically for evacuation of power from the renewable energy generating stations to the load centers, the transmission system named as green energy corridors have been developed, and they have been done at the intra-state as well as the interstate level. And the Power Grid Corporation has done the interstate related work, and the state transmission utilities have done the work in regard to the intrastate systems. So the green energy corridors are basically a means to facilitate evacuation of power from the renewable energy centers to the load centers. So these are the two important studies or the work which has been done in regard to the transmission planning, and accordingly the transmission system in the country is being developed.